Ladies and gentlemen, the flare-up between Iran and Pakistan, it's yet another conflict in the region, already facing tensions from various fronts, from the Mediterranean Sea in the west to the Red Sea in the east, and many hotspots in the middle. A spectre of Pakistan being dragged into the wider conflict, isolated under great financial strain. Pakistan once again sleepwalks into a situation that has been created by its own support for terror. But what does it essentially mean for the entire subcontinent when we see the beginning of 2024 with a massive turmoil within the Middle East, the Israel-Hamas war? On the other hand, we've seen this entire escalation between Pakistan and Iran. What are the repercussions of it in the subcontinent? And whether at all the United States of America is once again stoking fire? All this and much more on this debate. First, take a look at the developments.
An Iranian strike deep inside Pakistan on Jaish al-Adl terror camps. Once again, Pakistan punished over terror bases on its soil. Pakistan was quick to respond to the Iranian strike, escalating tensions in an already tense region. With Iran already involved in many conflicts, overtly and covertly, with even the US attacking Iran-backed agents across the region. Pakistan, on the other hand, under severe financial crunch.
आप कहते तो नहीं, लेकिन दिल के अंदर तो आप समझते होंगे ये पैसे मांगने आ गए हैं. तो मैंने कहा कि ये पाकिस्तान एक मिसाल इसकी ये है कि एक हाथ में हमारे एक न्यूक्लियर ताकत है और दूसरे हाथ में कशकोल. ये आग और पानी का ये कब तक ये मिलाप हो नहीं सकता.
Its all-controlling army stretched from Siachen to Sir Creek. This when tensions are high with India over recent terror attacks. The Taliban unwilling to recognize writ of the Pakistani government in the tribal areas.
Pakistan reserves the right to respond to this illegal act, and the responsibility for the consequences will lie squarely with Iran. We have conveyed this message to the government of Iran.
With old allies not helping with fresh loans to a cash-strapped Pakistan, it appears that all of Pakistan's friends from the Middle East to the West to China have left it to its doom, or allies from the past, such as the Taliban, are busy causing the doom. Let's debate.
Opening up the debate tonight is Javed Khan joining us from Islamabad, and Ambassador Deepak Bora is joining us from Mysuru. Dr. Joseph Chalil is joining us from Florida. In a short while from now, I'm also told that Saeed Mujahiri is joining us from Iran. Let me first get Javed Khan and Ambassador Bora. Javed Khan, post the Islamic Revolution, what has essentially happened is that you do find yourself once again in a uncomfortable situation with Iran. But you ought to understand one thing, that the reason why you find yourself in this isolated position with almost all your allies essentially deserting is because of your love for certain terror groups. And that seems to have only created instability in the region. And because of you, perhaps, countries like Afghanistan and others are facing the repercussion.
Thank you very much for having me. I think as far as your question is concerned, I'm surprised that you believe that Pakistan was the first which committed aggression against any other country. It was Pakistan which was struck by the Iranians, and then Pakistan responded. Pakistan wasn't the country responsible to escalate the situation. Even today, our foreign minister spoke with his Iranian counterpart and even with the Turkish foreign minister as well. Pakistan is definitely right now focused on de-escalating, and de-escalation is on the way. The ambassadorial level relations between the two countries are going to be restored.
Do you have
soon.
a choice, Mr. Khan?
And even our
do you have a
minister
choice, Mr. Khan?
The Iranian foreign minister as well. So why you believe that Pakistan is the country which is responsible. Pakistan itself is a victim of terrorism. Pakistan has suffered a lot. It has fought against terrorism. And despite the fact that several countries, especially our eastern neighbor, was involved in stoking terrorism in Pakistan, particularly in Balochistan province and in KP as well. So we are the victims.
Yes,
we have
please.
been fighting against terrorism, and we have lost about 100,000 lives while combating terrorism. This is not a small sacrifice on
Mr.
part
Khan,
of Pakistan.
Mr.
So
Javed Khan,
I can't understand why your channel and your country keep on blaming Pakistan, holding it responsible for terrorism or terror acts across the border. Even now, you're talking
what
about
we have been saying for a very long time,
and Iran as well. Pardon?
There is a reason. There is a good enough reason, and Ambassador Deepak Vora will actually try and help you understand that. But before I bring in Ambassador Vora, let me also quickly get in our guest who's joining us from Iran, Mr. Saeed Mujahiri. Saeed Mujahiri, does it really come across as a surprise? Because this is exactly what we have been saying for a very long time, that Pakistan essentially has been harboring terror groups. And the reason why the subcontinent is facing a troubled time is only because of this nurturing of these terror groups. We've never been very clear about our position about terror groups than what we have been now. And Pakistan seems to have never understood. Today, Iran has also now understood it, perhaps not in a way that they would have expected.
Now, actually, first of all, I want to greet all your friends, you and all your viewers. The thing which I wanted to mention is that I am not blaming Pakistan as a state which is promoting terrorism. The thing I want to say is that back from the year 2000, there's some Baloch groups, terrorist groups called, first of all, it was on the name of Jaishul Ad, with Abdul Malik Rigi. Back 20 years before, you can see they used to have attacks on Iran. Then they used to, after doing the attack, they used to go and escape to Pakistan. So we have these things. We are having good friendly relations with Pakistan. We don't blame Pakistan, but the situation in Balochistan is somehow it's a no man's land. You know, they used to struck us, and we had 1 month before we had an attack on our Rask police station, where 11 of our frontier corps soldiers were killed by this terrorist group, and they escaped to Pakistan. So it has been a lot of times we asked from our brotherly country, Pakistan, to take some actions regarding this situation. So it was very necessary, because we had also the Kerman incident that about 100 of people were martyred when it was the anniversary of
but Mr. Mujahiri, while I understand
Soleimani. So we had that.
You know, the timings.
But the thing which I want to say that there were a lot of attacks from America to KPT, to the northwest frontier province of Pakistan. There were a lot of attacks from Afghanistan. There were many attacks, many above 100,000 people, Pakistanis, were martyred by the US government, but they were never, their ambassador was never expelled. There was no such big tension.
So is this Saeed Mujahiri, as I understand, you believe the United States is once again responsible for the current situation?
You know, every problem we have in our country, in our region, no doubt it is beyond the US and the Zionist regime. You know, they don't want us be united with each other. You know, they come from that part of the world. They want our oil, they want our resources, they want our governments, they want everything. And when they are not pleased, they come with terror attacks, they come with groups, they support anti-government groups. They are always in this thought that they want to sabotage
Ambassador Vora,
government, state. This is all, everything we see. I want to blame USA. They are always, when you see problem anywhere, when you see problem in Iran, Pakistan, when you see problem in any place in the world, be sure it is on US or England. Or even the problems you have with Pakistan, India problems. When the British went from the subcontinent, they set the maps in a condition that you should have disputes with each other throughout the history. Anywhere you can see there is a spot. Beyond that is the US and the British government.
Okay. Ambassador Vora, just to perhaps broaden this, is the conflict really widening at this point in time? While Iran obviously, would blame the United States of America, Pakistan finds itself in a catch-22 situation that you cannot perhaps, keep a position where you would be able to keep Tehran and Washington happy together. So obviously they find themselves in a catch-22 situation. But the larger picture here, the Middle East in a complete turmoil, and the role of the United States of America, barring the argument that has been put forth by Iran at this stage, but the United States of America does have a role to play. Is there perhaps something that the United States of America is actually missing out? The Biden administration is completely missing out with the Russia-Ukraine war in its third year, with perhaps no tangible gain that even the Ukrainians have at this point in time. Do you believe that the United States of America is actually playing with fire?
Thank you very much, sir. Always a pleasure to be on your channel, sir, and late evening to learn from you and from your other distinguished guests. India is our eternal enemy, says Pakistan, so it hosts anti-India terror groups. Afghanistan is our eternal beloved, says Pakistan, so it hosts anti-Afghanistan terror groups. Iran is our Islamic brother, says Pakistan, so it hosts anti-Iran terror groups. And what do India, Afghanistan, and Iran have in common? They are all neighbors of Pakistan. What else do they have in common? None of them wants Pakistan as a neighbor. The legendary Indian Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, had said, we can choose our friends, we can't choose our neighbors. Now, the United States, he's a very convenient villain. Blame him for everything. If there's a storm on the moon, blame it on the United States. We are today at a stage, sir, and I'm saying this very carefully so that the millions of people who watch your truly amazing channel get an idea. 2/3 of all deaths and 2/3 of migrant flows in the last 30 years have been in and from the Middle East. What does that tell you? It's a witch's brew without any kind of a resolution in sight. Now, let me talk to you about the Iran-Pakistan attacks. Lovely, lovely Islamic brother, my darling. Then what happens? When the Iranians blast these bases in Pakistan, the Pakistan Foreign Ministry says, this will not go unpunished, a terrible thing to do. And they retaliate. Iran says, this is totally illegal what you've done. We are going to hit back. Then the two foreign ministers talk to each other and say, oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry we fired those missiles at you. Is this some kind of a joke? Are we in kindergarten? Or are we really looking at the world as it is today, with the Mideast in total turmoil? What is the solution? I'll tell you, there is no solution. The best, we say in diplomacy, is the enemy of the good. You're looking for the best, you're losing the good. Now we are told that everybody wants the Israelis not to clobber the fellows in Palestine, in Gaza. Very good. The Americans say one thing, do another. The Russians say, tell both sides, look, don't fall into the Western trap. China says, why don't you guys hug each other and make up? India says, we understand a nation's right to defend itself. The UN Secretary General, poor fellow, says, I'm deeply concerned, and then goes back and has whatever he has in the evening and goes to sleep. No one, sir, no one, and I repeat this, is interested in finding an immediate solution because, as for a lot of people across the world, and please don't be offended, the challenge for them, sir, is radical Islam. They see it in Iran, they see it in Pakistan, and they would be very happy. And I'm saying this very deliberately and slowly. I'm not talking about myself or my country. But many, many people in the West would be very happy both these countries went to the moon and fought it out over there. That is the level of their popularity today. Whether you blame India for killing 100,000 or 200,000 fellows and breeding terrorism here, that is immaterial. The point is, sir, as far as my colleague from Pakistan is concerned, you are the most intensely disliked nation today, even amongst your Islamic brothers, sir. I rest my case. Do some introspection.
Yeah, can I respond to what you just said?
One final word that I want to give to is Dr. Joseph Jalil. Dr. Joseph,
just give me.
Mr. Khan, I'm really running short of time, so I just want to just bring in, the bigger picture here. Dr. Joseph, I'm sorry, gentlemen, today we've run out of we've run out of time, so I apologize for it. Dr. Joseph, I want to come to you with regards to the US perspective to this entire matter. And the reason why I asked this question to Ambassador Vora also, that US does have a very important role to play, but many would say, Iranians say that, look here, they have a myopic vision. They are only looking at their own interests, and it's only your self-interest that you are justifying at this point in time.
Good to be on the panel. Unfortunately, America get blamed for everything, whether a rain in Pakistan or a flood in Iran. It's all the fault of America. I understand if Iran attacks Pakistan and Pakistan retaliates, it's America's fault. Of course, America. This is to show that these are potentially two new up-and-coming nuclear powers. If Iran becomes a nuclear power, what do we expect? Are we gonna shoot something stronger next time? So the challenge is, was attacking Israel on October 7th, was it the fault of America? Is it that the distractions they were creating, attacking the commercial vessels of India and other countries flagged in different countries, transporting regular goods, to the world, attacking them on the Red Sea? Is that America's fault? So the world will have no choice. America will have no choice but to defend and protect the freedom. And because the world commerce, the peace at large is at the responsibility. So I'm also, again, thinking that this was a distraction created purposefully, maybe Iran to distract, because I was told, the nuclear process is coming to a culmination, maybe days away or months away. If that's the case, Iran wanted to create the distraction in multiple countries, whether it is through Hezbollah, right, through Houthis, through other countries to make this happen. And that might be what's happening here. Now, we are starting a distraction now coming through Iran. There is attacks on Syria. There's attacks on Iraq, claiming it's a Mossad headquarters. It doesn't matter, So ultimately, I'm not sure. It's a tough time in America as well, because it's an election year here. President Biden need to show that he is standing strong, and allowing or having a nuclear powered Iran will be unpopular and be really disastrous to the world peace. So I am really afraid in the next 30 days this is gonna get escalated, and it's gonna get worse than as opposed to getting better. So I can't blame America for everything, but protecting world peace, this is not for the territorial integrity of USA, or we are not trying to attach Pakistan or Iran or Israel to make it happen. So please don't blame US
Dr.
for
Joseph,
everything. Take some responsibility as well.
Well, in fact, we are far from protecting peace at this point in time. Let's hope that there will be some sort of a withdrawal from the current situation. But gentlemen, I'm really sorry for not being able to continue any further. We are running short of time, but thank you very much for joining us on the debate tonight.